today my talk is about an exciting life, and the question is, are you leading an exciting life? So I'm welcoming you back to Unity the West Side and to our continuing journey together to co-create an exciting life. And let's first say that word all together, exciting. Exciting. There's an energy to that word. There are energies in our words. Carol, how was your trip home? Let's see if I put a picture up. Oh, I did. I put Myrtle and Charles and their family and his I fairly sizzled with zeal thing. I didn't put, but you say, Carol, how was your trip home to Detroit last month for the urban school reunion? And it was exciting. What do you have going on in your life that is exciting and filled with enthusiasm? Any sharers today besides me? What's going on in your life? Anything that's exciting? Go ahead.
We're going to take a vacation.
Yay!
It's short, it's not far away, but we're actually going to take a vacation because we never do that.
So if you didn't know that about Tim, vacations are few and far between for him, and that is exciting. That's an exciting thing to look forward to. What else do we got going on?
Going to Unity Village.
Going to Unity Village.
42 years of being there.
After 42 years of not being there, you're going to find it to be hopefully changed in a good way while still preserving the parts of it that were sweet. Because I think we have. I think the board of directors has done a good job at balancing the reparation and the repairs and the ongoing growth that needs to happen while at the same time honoring our past there. There is a rainbow bridge there. If you've ever lost an animal, you know the poem about the rainbow bridge. And people are sending their little dog collars to go on to the rainbow bridge. I think they were sending ashes, but they kind of discouraged them.
Yes.
And it was like, no, send their little collars and we'll put them up here. So let's see, anybody else? Teresa?
When I was working, I did a lot of programming, software programming. So the language always excites me. So if I find a new language to do something, I will be very, very excited. It's like I'm electrified.
Good, yeah. There's certain things that just turn you on. Annika?
I just had an amazing vacation to the rainbow bridge, to the rainforest. To the rainforest. It was an amazing eco retreat, and it was beautiful, and it was completely off the grid. No electricity, no cell service, no Wi-Fi, it's nothing like that. So it was magnificent and amazing.
Which rainforest?
One outside of Puerto Vallarta in Mexico.
Oh,
Nice. It was amazing.
How fun, how fun. So I want us to start off with an affirmation 3 times. I co-create with God an exciting life, and I greet each day with enthusiasm. Pretty simple, right? I co-create with God an exciting life, and I greet each day with enthusiasm. I co-create God with an exciting life, and I greet each day with enthusiasm. I co-create with God an exciting life, and I greet each day with enthusiasm. Now I tell this story about my mom. My mom was 95 years old when she passed, and she used to get up every day and she used to say, she used to do this stretch. Dear God, thank you for another day to see my family. And I caught her at it one morning and I said, what are you doing? And she said, I'm greeting God and I'm greeting the day. So when she got to be about 95, she said, I think God forgot me. And I said, why do you think God forgot you? And she said, well, I'm not dead. And I was like, Mom, you're giving God mixed messages. You're telling him, thank you, God, for every day that I can see my family. He thinks you want to stay till 100. And we had a good giggle about that, about her giving God mixed messages. So I like the one in the Daily Word on appreciation. Appreciation keeps me in a state of gratitude for my exciting life. When I appreciate things that come in, I was telling Jeanette this morning the bees were chasing me because I had put some honeysuckle stuff on my hair. But when I was sitting there complaining about the bees chasing me, I was thinking, God, I'm so grateful for the bees because the bees give us life. The bees give life to the world. The definition of exciting is causing great enthusiasm and eagerness. An exciting breakthrough, full of activity and fueled by our passion. And what power are we talking about? What power?
Zeal.
Zeal. That's right. We're talking about our innate power of zeal. And it comes from the Greek word ethos, which means full of God. How are you today? Full of God. Thank you. How are you? How is your life? Full of God. I like that. So you might want to ask, how can I co-create an exciting life? Well, you can ask yourself this question: what brings you joy? This ties directly into your power of zeal and what makes your zeal fairly sizzle. Charles Fillmore wrote this quote in Talks on Truth at age 94. So he was almost as old as my mom was with her thing. He said, I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that are to be done by me today. Listen to the words he used. Sizzle, not crack like my knees do in the morning, not crackle. He used sizzle. He used zeal, not fervor, not passion. He used the word zeal. Enthusiasm, not interest, enthusiasm. When I'm interested in something, oh, I'm interested in that. When I'm enthusiastic about it, that's a whole different energy, isn't it? And what does he do? He doesn't just meet it or accept it. He springs forth at 94. I hope he had good shoes on because he was springing forth. Not with a little faith, but not with a moderate faith, not with an adequate faith. No, he had a mighty faith, mighty, to do all the things that are to be done by me today, not next week, today. If that doesn't get you going, I don't know, you might need to check your pulse. So ask yourself about your enthusiasm and your joy and your happiness. And it's a great question to ask ourselves every single day. And if you're not meeting this question with the highest level of energy, if you aren't vibrating from every cell, let's look at some things that might assist you. Are you fearful of taking risks? Some people have asked me how to create a successful business. When I tell them the formula, do what you love, do it every minute of every day, live it and breathe it, and take a risk. That's usually where I lose them, is the take a risk part. But I like to be safe. We all like to be safe. You mean I have to risk failing? Yes. But the good news is we all know how to handle getting knocked down. We get back up and try it a different way. And now when I get knocked down, and believe me, it still happens, I get up out of sheer reflex now. Risk seems scary, and change that sentence to risks are exciting, and you have a good start. The next thing I recommend for an exciting life is to travel. Go and experience something different from your day-to-day. For me, when I travel home, I'm so immersed in my family because in my day-to-day out here, I have my great work, but I don't have family. I have friends who love me, but the older I get, the more I crave being around family. But I also travel to other places. In my mind, I want to travel to Las Vegas for Christmas. I think that's gonna happen. I booked the tickets. I want to travel to Italy and Greece and maybe Spain too, so stay tuned. So you might think, oh, I don't have enough money to travel. Okay, first of all, that's probably not true. Make the money if you want to do it, and make the plan. Start planning your trip and see how the money shows up. In the meantime, travel to the ocean. You know how many of us forget that we have this big,
Right.
beautiful ocean so close? And people actually travel here to see it? Travel. The next hint I'm going to give you is to research something that interests you. Do you know how much I love writing this talk? Because I got to research joy and happiness and enthusiasm, and I kept doing more research. I got happier, and the dogs were like, well, she's in a really good mood today. It was so much fun that I wish I could do this talk every week. But take a class, search on the computer, or just take a step to something that makes you smile and brings you that feeling of zeal. On unity.org, there are archives of Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, Eric Butterworth, and it's a rabbit hole that I can literally lose 3 hours in. You know what that zing feels like? When I go there, I'm all full of zing, and different things zing me, and I get that zing. Oh my goodness, that's the truth for me, and that's what that does for me. So for me, a lot of my traveling is in my consciousness and in my looking into spiritual thoughts and ideas and quotes and things from the past. And there's this one guy from Britain that I never heard of, but I just got a book from him, so that's on my list of the books. Now the next one is to meet new people. And if you don't know everyone here today, say hello and introduce yourself. Just don't get creepy with it, because you're going to scare them off if they're a first timer. But try smiling at people, because you never know what the universe has planned for you. What your smile or your laugh might attract. One time on my flight back to LA, I was delayed by 5 hours. Not a slight delay. And I was already at the airport. So I went to get a Detroit hot dog. It's actually a Dearborn hot dog. Because it's usually what I do before I leave Detroit. I get a Dearborn hot dog. And sitting there, I thought, oh, I should open up my iPad and write my talk. But when I looked next to me, there was this young man smiling at me, and I smiled back. And then he took out his ear pods, so I put my iPad away. We talked the whole 5 hours about the Tigers, about music, his family, my family, and then we discovered we both work in special ed. At hour 3, we discovered that we both work in special ed. So we just enjoyed this time together, talking and laughing. So meet someone new, find a new hobby, renew a hobby that you had. So what you don't know is that in my family, I make tissue box covers. I do needlepoint on plastic canvas, and I make tissue box covers. And so I'm doing those for Christmas now, because I decided this Christmas I should make a homemade present for as many people as I can. I didn't give myself a number, so the number might only be 1, but I've already started it. And I've already started doing a paint by number. I used to love the paint by number kits when I was a kid. They have paint by number kits now that are for full-grown adults. There's Jesus walking on the water, there's peonies. So I got 5 kits, and I'm gonna start with the penguin for my niece that's coming, and I'm taking her to Vegas for Christmas. So if you do something like that, for me, it's a form of meditation that settles my mind down. And while I'm there, I'm having a really good time doing it, and because it's not hard at all to follow the numbers, but I'm also seeing this picture emerge, and there's a sense of joy and accomplishment that comes from these things. I haven't done it in 20 years, but for my niece's Christmas, I hope she gets it this Christmas, so just saying. Sometimes I get busy, but it makes me happy. The next hint is a good one, because we need more volunteers here, including 1 or 2 more board members. So volunteer your time. Give your time to something outside of you that you believe in. Now, any volunteering that I've done here, and it's been significant even before I was the minister, is a sacred service. It's between God and I. And it's our agreement that I have to serve. In order to have a joy-filled, abundant life, I must be a servant leader. So I serve this community, and I know there's several of you who also serve just as much or much more than I do. The last one is going to be a challenge for all of us, and it's to listen to a different point of view other than our own.
Mm.
If you're surrounding yourself with people who only agree with your point of view on anything from politics to faith to sports, you're going to remain stagnant. That's right, I said stagnant. That's right, I said that out loud. The thing that I love about Unity is that we teach truth, but your truth might be different than mine. So it's okay to listen to each other. And it's okay to not agree with what that person is saying and go, well, that's a very interesting point of view. And think about it. Let it go into your mind. Don't close yourself off to thoughts that aren't the ones that you think. Because we've been domesticated by our families, by our situations, by where we lived. We were all domesticated to think a certain way. And when other people don't think that way, they're a stranger. I was a hard kid to raise because that whole stranger danger, I love strangers. I'd smile at them. Even when I was a little kid, I was big blue eyes and this black hair that they kept up in a fountain up here, and I'd smile and people would smile back. I was a hard kid to teach stranger danger to. So for this reason, I love taking classes with a lot of you because you make me think and change and grow. And I thank you all for that. Lastly is to be flexible because nothing will rob your joy like rigid living. I can't go. I have to eat by 4 o'clock. I have to have a snack at 4 o'clock. Okay, have a snack at 4 o'clock, then go to the dinner at 7. Be bold, be flexible. And just remember, there's never going to be another you in this world. You are God's perfect creation and you are meant to do so much. You did not come here to play small. The exciting life is not going to come to your house, ring your doorbell, and get you off the couch. We, my friends, are responsible for our gifts and our joyfulness. Joyfulness. Tim shares his love for music and his work with us and with his bands and with his teachings every single day. You don't know how I respect that, and I love that about him, that he's so full of joy he uses the gifts that God gave him. I invite you to put yourself out there this week and keep putting yourself out there until you find that joy that is always there in our experiences, that silver lining that is in every cloud, every single cloud that you encounter. You just need to look for it a little. The last thing I have to say is to remember to save a little of your zeal and your enthusiasm for yourself. Marie Kondo, the organizer, makes you hold every item in your house and ask, does this bring me joy? Okay, now I'm Marie Kondoing my house because I'm gonna be leaving California in a couple of years. So everything I buy now, I hold it and I say, is this an heirloom or a tchotchke? And they're usually tchotchkes, so I put them back down and think, oh, I have enough tchotchkes. When my soul was coming into this incarnation, when God was handing out patience, the line was too long. So I went back and got more zeal. If you've lost your zeal, talk to me after this talk, because I have enough enthusiasm and zeal to hold that space of zeal for you while you are finding it. And while you're finding it, act as if it's already yours. How would a person who had that dream job feel about it? And I feel that way. How would a person with health be feeling right now? How would a person with abundance of finances be feeling? How would they feel right now? How would a person with, you fill in your blank, feel the energy of it, imagine it, and act as if it's already yours? I co-create with God an exciting life, and I greet each day with zeal and enthusiasm. And I want to add this from the book of Samuel. And David danced before the Lord with all his might, wearing a priestly garment. So David and all the people of Israel brought up the ark of the Lord with shouts of joy and blowing of ram's horns. Metaphysically, David is often referred to as a type of Christ. His life was a forerunner to that of the more perfect man, Jesus Christ, who was of the house of David. David represents our divine soul, individualized in human consciousness. Loving being, or God, is the idea of perfect unity in all existence. The music and the dancing before the Lord is in harmony, which should be affirmed in all the expressions of divine law. Tim has a song to us called David Danced, and he's going to teach it to us and play it for us with zeal.
Yeah. So this is actually